Hey crew, welcome to the Spiritual Social. I'm Lexi, your local lightworker. I'll be your guide today in this third episode of the Botanica series, a series of pick-a-card readings inspired for your personal becoming, for your wealth and development. So today in episode 3, we are going to be looking at your path to radiant health. This is going to be a health and well-being reading, and I have here a choice of 3 flowers, gorgeous flowers taken from The Secret Language of Flowers, this oracle, which I have in the German version. Each flower will add towards your bouquet. If you have been playing along with the series, at the end of the series, episode 4 is going to reveal to you your personal bouquet, and the bouquet will contain flowers whose meaning will reveal your life purpose. But you can also watch this reading on its own as a pick-a-card reading. If you're just curious about your radiant path to health, this can be enjoyed on its own. Take of it what you will and make of it your personal thing. I highly encourage you to play an active role in the consumption of these tarot pick-a-card readings which I create for you. Today, I also am going to be using a very special tarot deck. I love it. It fits so well with the theme and topic. This is the Rosebud Tarot. I'm going to live shuffle from it. So this tarot has been created by Harper and Stillwell. I think these are the authors, but it is a gorgeous deck nonetheless. It will be linked in the description box below along with all the other tarot and oracle decks I am using. Let me introduce to you the options so you know which flower to go for. We have here for group 1, the Hydrangea. Virginia Woolf, the famous British writer, she developed the stream of consciousness method. She used to write a lot about hydrangeas that grew in London. We also have here the poppy. The poppy is also a symbol of Remembrance Day, people that have died during World War I, if I'm not mistaken, war veterans. But as you guys know, poppies can also be a little bit hallucinogenic. And we also have here the orchid for group 3. Did you guys know that the word orcus is actually the word for testicle? That's fascinating. So yeah, although the flower looks more elegant, I would say. Yeah, so I don't know why I felt the need to give you some facts. I will tell you more about the deeper spiritual meaning of each of these flowers at your specific pile. Please choose with your guts. Please choose with a feeling inside of yourself, because then the reading is going to resonate stronger than if you choose just by your eyes or by spending too much time thinking about which option to go for. I really want to thank you guys for being so kind, so sweet, so generous. I love your comments. I love the ways in which you get in contact with me and share with me so many beautiful things. I'm so happy that you enjoyed this series. And yeah, I just appreciate you all. Thank you for the beautiful gifts you're sending my way as well. They all add up to the aesthetics of this channel, and I'm more than happy to be using them. I see myself as a ward of all of these things rather than an owner. So yeah, whatever I receive, I always put into the service back for you guys. With all this being said, thank you for your participation. I hope that you can follow me on Instagram, on TikTok for short form readings. Also check out my website. I offer personal readings. The second link in the description box takes you to my range of options and affordable pricing. You may become a member of this channel to unlock more tarot and oracle pick-a-card readings, special ones. Also, you are invited to go and hang out with me on my second channel, the Eden Nearby, for chill content, or my third channel, The Spiritual Cosmos, all about astrology. Okay? All this being said, I'm going to jump straight into your reading and find out the path to radiant health in your life, how it will come about. Hey group 1, welcome to Botanica episode 3, your radiant path to health and well-being. This is a reading in which we will explore sources of vitality and energy for you so you can feel holistically better. So this is a reading for those of you who are drawn to the hydrangea. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the meaning of this specific flower so that you know how to add it to your life purpose bouquet. So we have here the meaning of hydrangea represents gratitude. It's hard not to love the magnificent hydrangea. However, the meaning of this beautiful flower was not at all positive in the Victorian era. The hydrangea represented arrogance and heartlessness and was often sent by spurned lovers as a sign of anger. Ooh. In Japanese culture, however, this is completely the opposite. Here, the hydrangea has great meaning and symbolizes sincere feelings, gratitude, and understanding. Its many small flowers paint an image of abundance. This card is therefore intended to remind you to be grateful for the many gifts of the universe and to appreciate what you have. Here's something to consider. Every night this week, write down 3 things you are grateful for. So if you manage to find at least 3 things that you can focus on, 3 positive things that you appreciate about your life for the number of 7 days, like consecutively, you're just going to get into a really wonderful mindset, a mindset that is noticing all of a sudden growth where in the past there was lack. I have here the Rosebud Tarot. I'm going to give it a quick shuffle and read you your cards to see what else lies at the root of your well-being aside from gratitude. A grateful, humble, approachable, open attitude. That's basically what I'm getting from you. It's like the more appreciative you have, the more comes your way, the more you can achieve. So one of the cards dropped to the ground. Sorry about that. We have here Sovereignty of Air. So this is the King of Air. We have Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We have here as well the Seeker. So this is number 9, the Hermit, Virgo energy. We also have here the Moon. Okay, so the Moon to me represents both Pisces and Cancer because Cancerians are ruled by the Moon. So you may be any of these signs, right? You could have some Pisces and Virgo energy in your chart with a little bit of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. It's the combinations are multiple. I'm not going to get too much into this. I see very clearly that your emotions can get the best of you. At the source of a lot of your health problems are unresolved emotions. For example, if you repress a lot of anger, it could be that you have a nasty flare-up. Your skin starts to get red, or you have a lot of zits or pimples that appear on your body. I also see that, give me a second with the Hermit. Spending too much time alone, spending too much time behind closed doors is not actually healthy for you. So that's another problem. You need to be outside more, to touch grass, to be in the sunlight. You need to become a bit more sociable. It could be that you are anemic or you suffer from lethargia, from depression, anxiety, because you haven't had a human contact for a while. So being too much of a reclusive is not really good for your health. I also see that you can improve your health and well-being overall if you take some sort of speech lessons, if you do communication courses, some sort of training, if you just talk to a Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius and pick their brains about how to become a better communicator. I see that there may be situations of conflict. My cats have started a brawl. So there could be situations of conflict around you in your environment. You may have certain problems. And because you are not speaking up, there is a lot of tension that is being created. I have to admit, this is the 4th time I've tried filming your reading. The interferences are colossal, almost to the point where I wanted to give up and no longer do this episode anymore. So either you need to cleanse yourself by burning some Palo Santo or some sage, or you need to draw better boundaries, appropriate boundaries with the people in your life, because there's a lot of cattiness. There is a lot of conflict here that can be easily resolved by just voicing your upsets, by communicating clearly. You cannot do this. No, I will not give in to this. You have to respect my space. The law says that I require this and this. This is my right, and thereby you need to respect it. If not, I'm going to seek the help of authorities. You have to put your distress into words. You're a highly sensitive, highly emotional person. I think that this is why you enjoy spending a lot of time on your own. There's nothing wrong with that. You do you, boo. I feel like you have a very rich inner world and you really are very protective of your space. But recently you are coming into certain dis-eases. So a lack of ease in your body, a lack of harmony, a tension in your spine. I'm picking up some very strong spinal problems, back problems especially, mostly because you are not voicing what is pissing you off. Yeah, Very bluntly, I say it like I see it. Your oracle cards, this is my second favorite flower after the dahlia, the peony. We see here prosperity and compassion. Prosperity depends more on wanting what you have than on having what you want. Being appreciative, really looking around you and saying, my God, my life is beautiful. And if things don't work out, just drop them for a second, come back to them after you took a health break. Health breaks are really important for you. You need to instill them with a lot of discipline. Boundaries, health breaks, and putting whatever upsets you into words in a very clear as possible way. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to raise your voice. You are figuring out ways to communicate your feelings. So it's obviously going to be a work in practice, right? You don't have to say the perfect sentence. You may stumble, you may trip over what you want to say. I'm also learning how to become more assertive and protect myself as well. So we're on the same page with that. You're not alone, boo. There are many like you. So the only thing that I see here is that your capacity to voice your concerns and to do good written work, or to put your anger into writing rather than to express it in a more toxic way. If these things are not, if you don't let them out, if you don't practice them, they are going to interfere with your wealth, with your capacity to attract money, with your capacity to work. It could be that you could get a lot of sick leaves, and this is affecting your capacity to do work for somebody else, or if you're self-employed. All of this tension, this emotional tension that is not being cleared, that is not being dealt with, is leading you to have a lot of depressive moments. You barely can get out of bed. You can barely have the energy to do the work that you know you need to do. So be mindful of these. I'm not saying these things in order to manifest negativity in your life, but just to make you aware that these scenarios are possible if you are not finding creative ways of putting your feelings into words and communicating them clearly. Your feelings are important. You're not supposed to gloss over them, but you're supposed to transform them. And as you transform them, you will unlock a lot of prosperity. I also see that you need to open up to other people more. You have to be brave enough to to build alliances. I literally trip over my words. I could feel the anxiety. Like my lower lip tensed up and I couldn't speak. There is some huffing and puffing that needs to happen as well here. Yeah. And yeah, you definitely need to drop some burdens. You've been shouldering too many responsibilities. There needs to be some readjustments. I can feel it in the body. I have a very clenched sacral chakra and very clenched solar plexus chakra as well. So wounds related to your capacity to trust other people and to your capacity to be confident. Somebody demeaned you, somebody belittled you, somebody bullied you in the past, controlled you, and you're taking time away from the world in order to heal. But I feel like you've done the healing that you could do on your own. Now it's time for you to seek help. It's time for you to ask other people to participate in your healing process. You may need to do some group therapy sessions. You may need to do some creative art paint classes. You may need to ask people for advice, maybe change some sort of prescription medication. The ones you've been taking are no longer functioning so well, or switch from prescription medication to herbal healing. Yeah, that's so much better for your body, and it puts you more in alignment with Mother Nature, and the side effects are minimal. So there is just this feeling of you switching to something more natural, more organic, something that puts you into a flow. Now I also see here the Death card. Please don't be worried, I will explain in a second. And I see here motivation. And I also see here serenity. And the keywords are compassion, acceptance, and contentment. You have to forgive yourself for something that you feel you have done wrong. And you have to forgive other people who have bullied you and who have taken you out of your peaceful attitude. Maybe you were like a shy person, very sensitive, very sweet. I can see this with this vibe. And there's a lot of resentment in your body. And this resentment, if you don't release it, it's going to lead to localized pain, right? There may be tumors, there may be issues popping up all of a sudden. where there are emotional knots that are not being untangled and dealt with. You may benefit from having a deep tissue massage. So if you have some money saved up, just invest a little bit of it in just getting the massage, like a 1.5 hour long massage, or just 1 hour should be sufficient, I feel. It would also help you break through this boundary that you've created that is a little bit too high. So in certain cases, you've created a physical boundary between you and other people that is unsurmountable, but like in terms of the way you communicate and you stand up for yourself, the boundaries are very low. So lower the physical boundary a little bit and raise the communicative boundary a little bit. Yeah, that would help you strike a sense of balance. So when people come at you, try not to be constantly silent and watchful, because I think this is your default mode. You sit back, you listen, you observe. Try rather to put into words what it is that you're feeling in the spur of the moment, and don't be ashamed to react a little bit. I know that normally I don't advise people to react, but in your case, I feel like reactivity can actually signal to the other person that what they're doing is not good, it's not respectful, it is bothering you, it's uncomfortable. So keep this in mind, yeah? Okay, in terms of the Death card and the motivation, you're holding on to something in your life that has long gone. It could be that you're still struggling to maintain a job that is no longer fulfilling. You may be living in an environment that is filled with toxins. There could be something that is infecting the air, the water, the food that you're eating, and it may be time for you to finally relocate. You could live next to a factory or a processing plant. There could be some discharges that are taking place in the earth around you. So you have to be mindful of that. It could be that some of the health issues that you're having at the moment are related to smog, right? Pollution and toxins in the ground, in the earth. You may need to start filtering your air, filtering your water if you do not have the means to relocate. That could be something you should consider investing in the coming period. So I see here as well that adopting a more accepting approach, softening a little bit, not hardening so much against life's challenges, unclenching your fists, relaxing your muscles, this can help you. Health-wise, you can become more radiant, you can heal yourself if you let go a little bit of this tension, if you put into words what is bothering you, if you use the talking cure, work with a counselor, work with a therapist, talk to a friend, go online and join some sort of community where you can share what you've been going through in an anonymous way. Just put it into the world, you know, get it off your chest. It's been too much, it's been too long for too much. And it would also help if you write a diary, if you do this mental hygiene, put whatever it is that you're feeling and whatever it is that's been occupying your mind, getting you to mull over and ruminate over certain worries, put it out on paper, like vomit it on the paper mentally, you know, take it out on paper. I'm sorry for the graphic imagery, but sometimes it feels like that. It feels like you regurgitate on a piece of paper all this anxiety that you've been holding within. Nobody's gonna give you awards for holding inside of yourself inordinate amounts of fear. Take it out, release it, move, dance, stretch, okay? I feel like it's so important for you to use your body as a way to detoxify your feelings, and also as a way to find a verbal outlet, a communicative outlet for the intensity of the feelings you're experiencing at the moment. Okay, so remember, my beautiful Hydrangea crew, an attitude of gratitude, of compassion. I understand you, I see this, but also an attitude in which you put into words what it is you're feeling is going to really help you heal yourself from some lurking diseases that could lead to the termination of your health in the future. So be mindful of that, okay? You have the motivation, you have the heart, you have what it takes to heal yourself. Okay, my love, thank you so much for listening. I really hope this helps. I hope I've been giving you some small tips, some interesting insights. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Please give this video a like, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Take care. Ciao. Hey Group 2, welcome to episode 3 of the Botanica series. Today we're going to look at your radiant path to health and well-being. We're going to be looking at sources of energy and vitality and what could be interfering with them. So this is a reading for those of you who are drawn to the poppy. Mohnblume is the word in German, just in case you wanted me to read what's written on the card. I feel some of you are curious. And if you are curious, well, let's extend your curiosity because I will tell you very briefly what the meaning of this flower is, so you know what you are adding to your life purpose bouquet, which we will be talking about this in episode 4. Somebody's rushing. Okay, taking a deep breath in. Let me tell you a little bit about the poppy. In many cultures today, the poppy is known as a symbol of remembrance and hope. However, the meaning of the poppy goes back much further. Due to its anesthetic effect, it originally stood for sleep and healing, but also for death, which used to be strongly associated with sleep. This flower leads you into your inner healing depths. In Victorian England, it therefore meant imagination and magic above all. We often underestimate the power of imagination, but it inspires us, and only with its help can we achieve truly great things. Imagine your life in the brightest colors. What would you dare to do if there were no limits? So the poppy is usually a flower associated, as they said, with death. It's a flower used to commemorate or remember people that have served their nation, family members that have gone. It's usually associated with all of the holidays that take place in the month of October, end of October, beginning of November, like All Saints, Halloween, Remembrance Day. And it is associated with passionate, intense, but also occult and hidden sign of Scorpio. So it could be that all of these things may resonate with you if you were drawn to this card. I need to say that from the seeds of the poppy, opium is created. And if you're a little bit familiar with the history of art, you would know that opium was kind of like the toxin of choice for artists at the turn of the century, at the beginning of the 20th century in France, during a time of great industrial, cultural, and artistic creations. The minds were full of feverish thoughts. People were indulging in these creative fantasies by basically ingesting opium. There were also opium dens, I think, and a lot of opium eaters were painted in art and depicted. So some people were really focused on trying to show the darker side of this addiction that was both fascinating, but also it could steal your soul. So all this being said, let's diagnose further and find out what is at the root of your lack of radiance. What is going on? What is stealing your light? It could be an addiction. It could be the fact that you lost someone and you're still recovering from that pain. You're going through the 5 stages of grief. It could also be that you are creatively blocked. You need to do something creative, imaginative. You need to spend more time daydreaming. You have been too rushed. You have been feeling a lot of pressure, and this has been negatively contributing to your sense of health, to your overall well-being. Yeah. So we see here curiosity of air. This is the page of air, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. I also see here the 4 of fire. And I see here the generosity of air. Again, generosity is the queen of air, so Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Libra most likely. I see here a scissor, cutting, eliminating things from your life, separating from somebody. At the core of your sense of frustration is the fact that you had to turn your back on your family, on your homeland. You may have relocated from the country in which you lived. You may have had to cut ties with family member or members. And in certain cases, this was an estrangement from, Okay, some of you actually separated from a lover, and others of you separated from a spouse, and the spouse may have gained full custody of your child. So it's an estrangement from your own child, from your offspring. And this in turn has led you towards feeling of hopelessness, lack of meaning, purposelessness, we have here the 8 of Earth, putting in the hard work. So here's the deal. I'm going to be very honest with you. In order to achieve health and wellness again, in order to get that radiant glow about you, it's not going to be the easiest ride. You actually have to put in the daily effort of taking care of yourself. There is something that you have to do in a routinized way, day by day, consecutively, in order to finally see the benefits. It's not going to come overnight, but you will have a really beautiful outcome if you put in the effort, if you put in the work. I'm tripping over my words for some reason. There could be here a stammer created from internalized anger. You're really blaming yourself for what has happened, for the separation, for the lack of child custody, for the loss of an individual, for the ending of a relationship, for a failed creative project. But I'm here to let you know that on some level that had to happen. You had to be somehow separated from a person that you love dearly, from an idea, from a desire. This could also mean separation from a deep desire of yours. You had to be in a way frustrated so that you can take a step back and detach and see the situation for what it is and rebuild in a new direction. Yeah. And you are laying right now the foundations of a very solid sense of vitality and energy. You are rebuilding yourself on a very solid ground. But it's going to take time and effort, okay? 8 months from now, most likely on the 8th of the month or in the 8th month of the year, August, you will start to see some really solid results to all of the effort you are putting in at the moment. Good things take time to grow and to develop. Sometimes people take years to develop into their best form. Keep that in mind, okay? I know we live in such a fast-paced world, in a world of like turbo everything, you know? Everything needs to happen now, everything needs to happen fast. Do it now, I want this, you know? Ignore that. Ignore that. That is Maya, that is illusion, that has nothing to do with the reality of our souls, with the tasks that we were incarnated and fated to experience. What I see here is that you need to take this time. This time is really good for you. Time is healing. It's like a blanket of love that is allowing you to do things step by step. And if you made mistakes, go back and correct them so that your foundation is solid, so that you're building a house on very solid pillars and not something made of hay that the big bad wolf is gonna come by and just blow it away with a huff and a puff, right? You should really watch a movie called Casa Lobo. It's a phenomenally beautiful and dark fairy tale inspired by some really horrific true events, but the way it is told, it is so poetic and creative. And especially if you're going through creative block at the moment, I highly recommend that you watch the movie Casa Lobo. Yeah, it's really going to spark up your imagination. It's going to get you inspired to draw, to paint, to make collages. The wolf at the door. You feel a certain pressure. There is somebody kind of hounding you. Maybe it's you need to pay taxes, or maybe you need to pay rent, or you owe somebody some money. You may have student debt. And you feel like I have to be creative and I have to do it fast, but I need time to be creative. So you're kind of like stuck in this really thorny bind. Release. Release. There is no way forward other than release. Letting go, freedom, and healing. Yeah. The story of the maiden and the 7 swans. Nurturing the swan, healing it, will allow it to finally fly away with its brethren when the time is right. It may need to wait out a season. May need to wait out until the migration time of the birds comes back around. But it will no longer be able to fly with a broken wing. It needs time to heal the wing so that it can fly again. This is you. This is you. The swan is you. And you need help and support. Elegance and patience. There we go. The message is being drilled deeper and deeper into your mind. We have here, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Yeah, things will be done. Whether you give it your 110% or not, things will be done. Things will be accomplished. Believe it or not, but the world keeps turning. Even if you rest, even if you sleep, it's going to be okay. It's a lifetime's work, not a season. You remember that saying from the Work Your Light deck. Freedom. You need to allow yourself some space to clear your plate of responsibilities and like escape a little bit. Do something different. Get out of your habitual everyday 9-to-5 routine. Take a break, go on a holiday, go on some sort of a career break, go on a retreat, travel someplace that you've always wanted to travel, go and see a friend, a relative. Say yes to the invitation that is arriving in your inbox now. There is a feeling of you need to explore. You cannot contain yourself anymore. By allowing yourself this freedom of thought, movement, and feeling, you are going to come back to yourself with replenished vitality. And your intuition is going to become active again because it was dormant. And why was it dormant? Because you're so tired. You're exhausted. I feel like curling up in a ball and just lying there. And sometimes we go through these periods in our lives. We have a really difficult Pluto transit. Saturn is making us its proverbial biatch, for 2.5 years. That means that we will be challenged. My cat Luna is sitting right across from me next to the window, and she is making those cat eye gestures, which mean you're okay, I love you. And it's so sweet. She is adorable. She's waiting for me to open the window, but unfortunately I cannot open the window when I'm filming because it's too loud outside. I live in a very noisy neighborhood. So the fact that I'm able to have this conversation with you, to film this reading in complete silence and peacefulness, is an achievement. Okay, it's something I am so deeply grateful for, because you guys have no idea how difficult it is for me to film these readings and to find peace and quiet in a neighborhood that wants to just tear at every little bit of peace and stillness. I don't know what's wrong with people in this neighborhood, but it's like they wake up and they want arguments, conflicts, loud noises, bangs. And God has placed me here, and I have to find a way to deal with it. And I feel that it's the same. So I'm conveying this personal experience because I feel like you have been placed in the epicenter of an earthquake, and you're having to find a way to deal with it and to make something creative, something spiritual, something wise out of it. And to be very grateful for the small moments when everything just seems to fall back into a state of flow. Because it helps you understand that peace is not something granted or something you should just take for granted. It is something that you have to put effort into creating day by day. And in a world replete with conflicts, I think that this is such an important lesson that each one of us should have in their lives, should become aware of. Release the burden with patience in time. Your intuition will return, and you will be able to allow yourself a sense of freedom, space, movement. You will liberate yourself from guilt, from the pain of having had something taken away from you. You will rise above strongly by using your fortitude, your mental strength, your natural intelligence. And by putting in the hard work, you are building a whole new foundation in your life. A foundation that will be created on the fruits of your creative labor. You are envisioning a better life for yourself. You're manifesting new things into being. Whatever was taken away from you had to be taken away. It has done its time. It has been completed. It was karmic and bound with a certain past life energy that is no longer helping you on your path in this incarnation. You are walking towards something different, something new, and you couldn't take that person, that project, that job, that opportunity with you. So let go of the baggage. Let go. Allow yourself time to mend your broken wing so that when the opportunity reopens again for you to do something completely new and exciting, your beautiful wing has been healed, so you can join your group of brethren again, and you can fly away towards your desired destination. But at the moment, you're in the arms of this loving maternal energy. There is this maternal goddess energy protecting you. You need to cocoon yourself. You need to heal. Take the next couple of months to heal. Put in the hard work of doing something good for your health each day. And practice makes perfect. In time, you will see the cumulative effect of that discipline. I too look good and pretty because I put in the effort. What you see is something that I've been working at since I was 15 years old. I had so many issues with my body. I cannot begin to tell you. And everything that I did from that moment onwards has been towards bettering myself, towards making myself a little bit better, perfect. I know I will never achieve the level of perfection that I want in my mind, but each day striving towards, trying towards something is giving you this kind of wonderful energy that other people compliment you for or make you feel good about. And when you receive a compliment based on your deep hard work, it's a compliment that nobody else can take away from you. It's something that resonates deeply with your heart. It's not something that makes you feel like you're an imposter. And this is what's coming for you, as long as you put in the work. Okay, my beautiful poppy crew, I hope that this message hit home. I hope that it resonates with your soul. I hope that it heals and calms you down a little bit. I do feel a bit more calm than at the beginning of the reading, so I hope I can transmit this energy to you. Like this video if you have enjoyed the reading. Comment down below and let me know a little bit about where you are at the moment with your health and well-being. And until next time, I cannot wait to see you in episode number 4. Take care. Hi group 3, welcome to the 3rd episode of Botanica. So you already have the energy of Grandmaster number 33. This is going to be a reading focused on your radiant path to health and well-being. And if you see that I'm doing something with my hand, I'm just petting my cat Luna, who just happened to twirl around my legs as I tapped into your energy to create your reading. Okay, so this is a reading for those of you who are drawn to the orchid. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this flower so you understand what is the deeper meaning of choosing it as part of your life purpose bouquet, which we will unpack in reading number 4, the final reading of this series. So the orchid represents wealth. The Aztecs revered orchids as sacred flowers and planted them in the gardens of their sacred sites. In the 19th century, orchids were a real sensation in Europe, and explorers were sent all over the world to find new species. The meanings of the orchid in the language of flowers are numerous. It symbolizes grace, fertility, and love, but also wealth. But this doesn't just mean your bank balance. Even without a penny in your wallet, you can be rich. For example, rich in friends, rich in happiness, rich in time, or rich in health. Take a moment and write a list of all the things that enrich your life. This is so important right now because I'm filming this around the time of the autumn equinox in 2024, and we are under some pretty stringent, limiting economic circumstances. Everybody has to pull themselves up by the bootstraps, and there is this lack mentality, a lot of fears and anxieties created by the many conflicts in the world and the political instability because we have election years all over the world. So at the moment, there is this pervasive energy that we are somehow lacking something, and it is manifesting in our reality with a number of conflicts, a number of tensions. But if you can think and take some time to think about what is actually in abundance already in your reality, what are the things that, maybe even the little things that can help you understand that you're actually quite safe, you're doing quite well for the current circumstances. Many times our personal narrative doesn't have to fit with the collective narrative. There were people, for example, who married, who got pregnant, who fell in love, even during horrific world events, right? Even during wartime, that was possible. So that doesn't mean that you need to live somehow detached from your social environment. It just means that sometimes you can be grateful and happy for your little parcel of paradise. You can make out of your environment your little corner of Eden. Even if other people don't agree, and even if they're engaged in self-destruction, you can be the one that builds yourself up. And hopefully, in time, with perseverance, you can be a role model for the people around you as well, even if you don't intend to be, just by being yourself, just by living well. So let's see, I have here the Rosebud Tarot. Let's find out what more can we add to your radiant path to well-being. How can the light reach you deeper? The Two of Fire. Okay, we have the Tower, Mars energy. We have the Four of Air. We also have here the Five of Fire, and whoa, you got a lot of cards, and the Five of Water. You are getting a lot of synchronicities. We began with 3-3, now we have 5-5. Not necessarily the best cards to have, because I see here depression and conflict. I see here feeling like the ground has shook beneath your feet. You may have actually underwent an earthquake recently in the region in the world where you find yourself. I hope you're safe. I hope you're keeping yourself protected as much as you can during such circumstances, because nature can be so unpredictable. How can you defend yourself against it, right? But I hope you are okay. I hope you're protected. I also see here with the Two of Fire, you've got a path to consider, the careful exploration of new territories. And I also see with the Four of Air, there is a sense of peacefulness, a sense of I'm gonna be okay. There is stillness, there is quiet around you. Almost to the point where the quiet around you is making you feel a little bit of dread, almost like what's gonna happen next. It's so quiet right now, all of a sudden, after this thunder blast, right? After this lightning bolt hit, it's so quiet. It's like crypt quiet. Why is that? But I would like you to really dive into the stillness and accept it for what it is and enjoy it, rather than be afraid of what is to come next. You're putting yourself in the future position and you're bringing fear into the present. And the present at the moment is very still, quiet, and peaceful. It's giving you a chance to recuperate and reconsider what you are learning from all of this frenetic activity around you. I also feel like a trip to a place of wellness is coming into your life. You may be given the funds, the opportunity, the invitation to travel someplace where you will receive treatment. I feel like a doctor may invite you. You may receive a medical supply of some funds that are coming from your insurance, or that have just been given to you as a source of charitable donation, and you will be able to travel to a location that can put an end to your pain. And I'm hearing the police alarm outside, which activated itself exactly when I said these words. So this is a message you need to pay attention to. Most likely it's already manifesting. I see here with the yellow rose, I wanted to say lows. Maybe you're Japanese. Maybe you'll travel to Japan for health and wellness. With the yellow rose, enthusiasm and friendship. A single rose can be my garden, a single friend, my world. The power of friendship can really heal you at the moment. Making friends, feeling optimistic, complimenting the people in your life, and being grateful for the fact that they are there. Offering them little gifts, even the gift of time, even a kind word, the gift of smiling at them, right? It doesn't have to be money or an actual physical thing that you make and you give to them. You can do that if you have the means, but consider gifts in a very wide variety. Even a hug, even the fact that you are there when they call you is a gift in itself. Friendships have the power to heal your heart at the moment. And the more friendships you create with everybody around you, the more stable and calm and confident you will feel in your life. And you will gradually walk away from this sense of inner self-destructiveness. This sense of I'm not safe, nothing is stable, I'm breaking down, my mind is cracking. Yeah, be careful, because your mind is such a precious thing. So we have here acknowledgement, seeing, knowing, and accepting. I feel like you are hardening yourself against something very difficult that is taking place in your life, and the more you harden yourself against it, the more it persists, right? Because of the principle of opposition, the more you resist it, the more it will grow. The less you resist it, the more you surrender and accept that, well, the situation is just, it is what it is. What can I do? I will move forward in some way or another. That's when the path clears away. That's when the water can finally move through the river from the rocks. So we have here transformation, and we have here comprehension. You're struggling to admit something to yourself. You're struggling to understand something. You're elbowing your way through things, and it's very difficult. And also, I'm reminded of elbow pain. You know, when you randomly hit your elbow, the pain is so sharp. It's like an inordinate amount of pain, and you're like, what the? It's just my elbow. Why does it hurt so much, right? Something little that was blown out of proportion, and it's causing you a lot of pain. But it's not necessarily the event. The event happened, the physical pain subsided, but you keep bringing pain up in your mind, tormenting yourself by refusing to understand and accept what has happened. You have to change your mind. You have to change the mindset. Think differently about what happened to you, about the trauma. In this period, your mental health is affecting your chances to become wealthy, to hold down a job, to put in your best in a type of creation you are manifesting at the moment, to hold down your family, to hold down good relationships with other people. It's affecting your friendships. You have to admit and accept certain things. You have to sit down and understand, make sense of what is going on in your mind by putting it on paper or typing it on your computer. Just open a random Microsoft Word document or a Pages, a one notepad, whatever, and just start writing about what it is you think happened. What traumatized you so harshly? What is a recurrent thought that you keep having? Do you keep telling yourself, I'm not going to make it, I'm not going to make it, this is so bad, this is so bad, I'm so afraid, I'm so afraid? There are certain thoughts that we have as we go about our business throughout the day. I found myself kind of really saying the word hate a lot lately, although I don't really mean it, but I think it. And it's not really part of my personality, but I just accepted it about myself. And it's the process of kind of integrating my shadow self. I see my cats play fighting in your reading as well. It happened with group 1. So there are some conflicts created by you not accepting something about yourself. People are trying to show you a negative part of yourself and you're not accepting it. And by you pushing other people away, you're pushing this chance to grow. Your shadow is growing bigger because you're not accepting that you can also be perfectible, that you are not always right, that you don't always succeed, that not everything is always as you want it to be. Things happen in a way of their own, and you have to accept this. You made a mistake, accept it. Admit, move past it. Because the more you reject that you made a mistake, you reject the fact that you're perfectible, the more the obstacle is going to grow. The more the mind is going to crack under the pressure of not allowing itself to become whole. I hope this makes sense. It's difficult. It's not easy. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a transformation. So something needs to be discarded for something else to come through. Something quite painful is happening inside of you. You need to shift your mind. You need to change the way you think. You need to adapt. The adaptation is going to be successful once you just admit to yourself and say, I am willing to change. I am willing to accept defeat. I am willing to see my part of the fault in this whole situation. And do it in a mature way. Rather than punish yourself and keep telling yourself, like beating yourself with a stick on the back, saying, oh my God, how could you do this? This was awful, you idiot. Don't say these things to yourself because that's not helping you integrate the wise lesson. Just look at the situation coolly, calmly, detached, with this stillness of the 4 of air. I did something wrong. Okay, I don't feel comfortable. I feel shame rising up inside of me. I feel a sense of guilt. But these are just feelings that are not helping me in any way except so that I can go and apologize to somebody that I may have harmed in the process of making a mistake. If that person is okay, if I don't need to apologize, then what I can do is make the situation better. Can I do this thing again? Should I apologize? What do I need to do to constructively deal with these negative feelings in my life? How can I understand what my friends are trying to tell me so that I don't break the connections with them, but I rather grow from them? Being grateful for the fact that you have people that are helping you understand sides of yourselves that you may not be so comfortable with. You can just, when somebody tells you something uncomfortable that you don't want to hear, like you are so selfish right now, or you are so greedy, or how could you do this, you know? That's a moment when you could generally sit and think, okay, so I can do this as well. I have this inside of me as well. Like other people, I also can F up. Or you can steel yourself against it and say, no, I never do this. You're wrong. You're the problem. You're toxic. Cut you out of my life. And then your shadow grows bigger and you are left to your own demise. There's definitely been some conflict. There's definitely been a big loss in your life. And this is what's draining your radiance at the moment. I want to pull one more card for you. Curiosity of Earth. You have to find a pragmatic way to deal with this issue. Give a gift. Apologize. Build something for someone. Do the repair work. Heal your body physically from what happened. Nourish yourself. Make sure that you eat well, that you sleep well, that you drink. And also, you are advised to just spend more time in green places. Inhale better oxygen. Surround yourself with houseplants so that the air in the space in which you live is filtered. Your mind needs to relax. It needs to unclench. Because at the moment you are standing on a precipice of really affecting your chances of wealth, affecting your income, affecting your career by focusing too much on what is lacking, focusing too much on conflicts, on what is not there, on sadness, on I am right and you are wrong. When you could just take a step back, accept what is happening, understand, and then, just adapt to the situation. Adapt to the situation. Be thankful to the person that is challenging you. This is a moment of deep maturity. Be thankful to them and change. Decide to change for the better. So that you can unleash the nectar of this flower. So that you can come back even stronger from this moment of... I feel like your capacity to be pragmatic is threatened. You have to get back to the basics. Curiosity of Earth is about beginning again financially. With the help of friends, with the help of understanding where you did mistakes and improving, by making amends, by issuing the necessary apologies, by following procedures step by step and not skipping steps. Patiently, in time, with effort and hard work, you are going to get back on that proverbial horse, and your wealth will increase as a consequence. I also feel that in certain cases you may have broken down a marriage or a very stable long-term connection because you may have cheated on somebody. And now it's time to make amends, to heal whatever happened between you and that person, to heal the conflict. That doesn't mean that you need to go back to them or to reestablish the connection, but it just means that you can start again without all of this guilt, by just having closure between you and the person that basically was not making you happy enough, right? So these are the things that I see, some of the challenges that I see blocking your path towards wealth. But wealth is yours. If you have chosen this card, if you are drawn to the orchid, wealth is already yours. You are a person that can actually crack gold out of stone, out of rocks, right? So use your magic for good, use it for wise choices, and make amends where it's necessary. Sometimes it's better to just be humble and accept defeat rather than push forward violently and be ruined. Yeah, although it's a big blow to the ego, I can understand that. I've been there too as well. So thank you so much for listening. Please like this video if you have enjoyed the reading. Comment down below. I really hope to see you in my 4th installment. Next episode is going to be the final one. Yes, the series was short and sweet, and I really want to show you guys the bouquets. We can talk about your life purpose bouquet in the next episode. But thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care and see you in my next one. Mwah.